I think you should hear this.
Sam, is that a cappuccino? I've got to ask. Are you drinking or are you drinking water?
Green tea.
Green tea.
Yeah, already had a coffee this morning. It's not great.
Yeah, cappuccino. I was watching the YouTube last night, and I love you. Like the best bit is the chocolate at the start.
It is.
Because like, I'm very similar. Like I love coffee for the caffeine hit, but also I'm definitely the guy that will get the shot of vanilla, so the shot of caramel in the coffee. Because like, who doesn't love the sugar, the sweetness as well?
Yeah, I think dude. The only reason I get a cap over a flat white is just you need that little bit of chocolate. Just makes you feel a bit more special.
Absolutely, and also if the coffee's bad, then at least you've got some sugar in it to mask it. There's nothing worse than getting like the coffee tastes like dirt, or you're just drinking warm milk. At least if there's sugar masking it, you're fine.
For sure. No,
yeah.
Agreed.
Well, yeah. Sam, let's get into it. Welcome to, I think you should hear this, a podcast exploring people's journeys of adversity, growth, and self-discovery. I really want to talk about your journey. I want to give the audience a bit of a backstory as to how we know each other, and also a bit of gratitude for the person who's made this all happen today, which is Huz. So last year, we were both involved in a container called the Growth Game, which is basically pushing people to do things that you're doing as well, which is stretch yourself, makes you uncomfortable, and all those sorts of things. I started following you through that. I've watched a bit of your journey over the last 18 or so months, and it's been awesome to watch and great to finally be able to catch up and have a conversation.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, thanks for having me. It's so cool when you reached out again to see that you were making a podcast in the first place. And and crazy how much has probably changed for, I guess, both of us since first entering that, going to the Growth Game. And definitely some kudos for Huz. Like that came at such a needed time for me. I'm sure it did for you as well. Like to be put in a space to like push yourself. Such a good catalyst for just going in your own direction of growth, and I think it looks like we've both been attacking it pretty hard, which is really cool. So
yeah, 100%. It's been a massive 18 months, 2 years personally for me, stretching those edges, and I definitely wouldn't have started a podcast if it wasn't for that. I remember one of my groans in the thing was to start the podcast, because I'd put it in my notes in my phone, which you allude to in the book as well. It's like, it's all well and good having the intention, but when is it? It's time for action. So the Growth Game was something that forced me to act.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful for that.
Sick. Yeah, man. It's been such a cool journey, I suppose, for both of us since then. And just excited to, I guess, if you want me to dive into kind of what's been happening with me on my little journey since, well, I guess from the start.
Yeah, from the start. Let's kick it off the top for sure.
It's been a zigzaggy journey. But yeah, I mean, when I left high school, I just didn't really have a sense of what I wanted to do, like with my life, really. I had like thoughts of physio and do I go down a business route and journalism? And I used to like video as a kid and making videos, and I didn't really know where I was going to end up or what I was going to do. So I hopped into a journalism and business degree, and then just found myself really not happy where I was, and struggling to kind of figure out like how I was going to make a life out of this that I was, I don't know, gripped by or excited by. And it led me to, deferring for a bit and then ending up back at university at square one again, thinking, fuck, what am I going to do now? To then, ultimately just dropping out of my degree after about a year of university to try and go all in on making videos and building up a little videography business and wanting to travel. And that was kind of as much of a game plan as I had. And then it would have been probably the Growth Game would have been probably 8 months later or 10 months later, around there, a bit under a year later. But yeah, from then I just starting posting on YouTube, making Instagram content after a while when I had the courage to get onto that platform as well, in front of, old friends and family and everyone who follows your classic private account as you grow up. And I've just been, sharing my journey from then of trying to build a business at the same time as wanting to travel and sharing my thoughts, I guess, about growing up and figuring out life and trying to figure out what you want to do and exploring your passions and chasing a life of, I guess, like deeper meaning in a way than just acceptance by the old system or the expectations you feel like you need to live up to.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. So then recently I did the book. So I wrote an ebook, kind of out of nowhere. I didn't really, I hit another inflection point of like, what am I going to do now after I was wanting to kind of get out of media. Um, and all of a sudden we're kind of here, and I'm just going down that journey with the book and trying to, I guess, reach as many young people as possible. So yeah,
Yeah, I read the book and I loved it.
thanks,
I felt like a I felt old reading it because you're definitely hitting a specific audience which is relative to your age and um but it was awesome and I love that it was like 100 pages. It was to the point. It gave people tools, and I also love that you didn't gatekeep. Like you were telling people, use Opal, use this thing, join this community. Like you were actually giving people steps rather than going, here's a link to how you can give me more money. It's like no, like I just genuinely want to help. So I thought that was great.
thanks, man.
I and I think you also when you spoke about uni is the tunnel, and you're living that now with, the third path is, oh, I don't want to do media. Let's pivot into this one, rather than going, I'm the media guy. This is what I have to do, and all the systems that you've created, setting up for life, not just for one stream of income, one industry.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I talk about it being, I guess, that traditional pathway with like uni being like a tunnel where the walls are, yeah, like built up of the expectations of everyone around you and the pressures to stay down that kind of straight line, and the tunnel hopefully leading at the end of it to a future of what you're looking for, of some
Yeah,
peace and a meaningful career, and everything that you're hoping to eventually get. And just, I feel like there's like a promise to continue down that straight tunnel and don't kind of go hammering at the walls, um, and you'll be rewarded eventually. Um, and I guess I've found that by looking at other people and what the tunnel is seeming to give people as they continue to go down it, like that eventually kind of reward that isn't
yeah,
guaranteed, and it might not be what you're looking for. And yeah, that's the kind of concept of trying to break through those walls of the expectations and step out into a field which is incredible because it's vast and you have every option you could possibly want. You can go in any direction you like, but there's a couple little trails and then you're off on your own and you have to.
yeah,
And I have it on my wall, like in front of me all the time, like a quote: "The price of freedom is uncertainty." And I just think it rings so true because that is the price you have to pay for the possibility that you get when you're doing something on your own is the uncertainty of it all, and that's probably the hardest part. And yeah, like I've tried. Even went out into that space, and then I started identifying as the videographer, the media guy, and then I kind of noticed that I started clinging onto a label again and the certainty of that and wanting to just like have the security, the feeling of a bit of safety in doing that when really I wanted to continue exploring other things. And I guess that's like probably the hardest part of trying to do your own thing is like facing the uncertainty,
yeah,
of not having a clear path laid out for you about what your career is going to look like, what your future should look like. It's the greatest part of it, but also I guess the scariest part.
for sure. Try to not box yourself in or like create a space where you can just pivot. And when you're doing it publicly, it can be so hard when you go, oh, I'm doing this. Now I'm going to do that. And everyone's go, oh, but I thought you were doing X. I'm dealing with that now with doing a podcast, run a men's group, doing like footy coaching. So I'm posting content on that too.
Gotcha.
And then like also just having social media for like my personal keeping up to date with other people and just like letting people know about my life. So I feel like three different Instagrams. I'm like, I wanted to only have one and just be me, but people love to label and box things. And if I'm posting things about the podcast and then footy, they're like, oh, I don't want to see that. So they only want one. So trying to navigate that personally is also tough.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And it's like that being fully seen as well, of committing to just showing exactly, you. That's a
yeah,
very vulnerable thing to do, I suppose, as well. And I was something else I was going to say there. Oh yeah, a great part about a trade-off, it can be good and bad, but by putting yourself out there publicly and saying that you're going to start a podcast, so that you're going to share yourself doing this challenge, like the fact that you then know that people are going to be checking up on how you're going with it is
Mm,
a nice social contract to be like, yeah, shit, I need to, I need to keep doing this thing. It's a good,
yeah.
depending on how you use that. Um, if you use a social contract for good, or it can also be hard if your friends are saying, "Oh, why aren't you coming out for beers on the weekend?" Like that's almost another social contract. But you can use that to hold yourself accountable, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite parts of the book, The Social Contract, because I utilize that for myself all the time. So 2023, I remember I was like, I really want to do carnivore, but it's really hard to stick to. So I was like, January 1st to lay out my goals. So the year's months, and I was like, I'm going to do a monthly goal as well, keep them short and achievable. And that was carnivore. And everyone was like, oh, how's the carnivore thing going? I was like, well, I said I was going to do it. I've got to stick to it.
Yeah.
Or whenever I do a fast, I'll post on my story saying I'm going to fast and I'm going to keep you updated with how it's going. So then it's like this social contract. I did a mini container last month with a few guys, and it was just we're going to set 2 goals each for the month. We just have to keep updated in there. We just made a group chat every 4 days or 3 days. If you don't keep updated, you're out. So
Mm.
if you aren't keeping up to your contract, you're out. And it was a $50 buy-in, so you had to. I did it previously with like 20 people for free, and they like so many people just dropped out. The social contract wasn't enough. They needed to put money on the line. But this one, it was 75% success rate. And it was really good because people were going, I'm sick. I can't. So a few people were like, gym or exercise. Like, I'm seasick. I one did an ayahuasca journey. He needed a couple of days to recover. And it wasn't like you failed, you're out. It was just the social contract was, I'm going to try and achieve these goals. We're going to support each other. So I really love reading that because it's something I've implemented and it really works for me. Like I was meant to do a fast on Wednesday. I didn't post it. I was just going to do it. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, which sucks. It's something I need to build to strength in myself, but I definitely know that a social contract really helps me.
Yeah. Cool. Good way to just get those actions happening.
Hmm.
Just like to get over that bit of friction you often have with taking an action that is like either scary or just a bit of a pain or hard. Um,
Hmm.
Knowing that other people are also have an expectation or watching or are going to hold you
Yeah,
accountable. Just a nice little hack just to get the action started, I
yeah.
guess. Yeah.
It's like utilizing or leveraging fear of judgment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Judgment hacking, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of judgment, let's talk about rejection therapy because that was the first thing I saw from you
Mm.
when you came across the feed and growth game. That's what you were doing at the time. Do you want to get into a bit of that, what you were doing there,
Yeah,
and how
sure.
that maybe led you to feeling more comfortable to explore the other things you ended up doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So, in April 2024, um, well, I'd seen people talk about rejection therapy. I'd seen someone do it when I was like in school on TikTok with just a couple hundred people following along on his journey. And he was doing these rejection therapy videos of just basically asking strangers questions where there's like a 99% chance that they'd hear no. Like really awkward questions, like asking to, I think the first one I ever saw was asking a supermarket, like a retailer, a worker, if they can get a tour of the kind of back storage area. And yeah, I saw that and it definitely sparked something in me going like a really uncomfortable thing to watch someone ask those questions. And I'd always had it in the back of my mind. And when I started posting on Instagram, especially, honestly, I was looking for ways to grow and yeah, sure, like challenge myself 100%. But I also thought, damn, like no one is really having the balls right now to do this challenge. And people would watch it. And what a good challenge for myself. I had like a month before I went to Europe where I was working at a school, so it was school holidays. So I had nothing on. And I was like, damn, I should try and do this challenge for 30 days. And yeah, so for 30 days every day, I was asking like a stranger a question that people in my comments or on like a poll on my story were choosing from, like what I have to do on that day. Um, so from I guess like asking for free food to pushing people's trolleys around or like piggybacking a stranger, running race, like all these things where I'll just film it subtly and yeah, ask these really awkward questions. And it was really hard and pretty scary. a lot of them, but really freeing. And like, yeah, sure, like definitely it was the catalyst for my Instagram for sure. I got a lot of attention from doing that, which is cool. But I think it definitely opened my eyes up to the power of just talking to people. Like this thing that everyone was getting so scared by and reacting so deeply to in the comments and being like, I could never do that. Sure, it was scary when I did it, but then I was like looking into it more after that, just this realization of, wow, people are so deeply emotionally like sparked by me asking strangers random questions. Public speaking is like one of the, I think it was something like the number one fear ahead of, um, I don't know, maybe like death or something like something unreasonable. Like that
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
no
yeah.
sense. People were incredibly afraid of being embarrassed in public or speaking out, and being judged, right? And ultimately, yeah, sure, it was like to kind of overcome fear of getting rejected and getting told no. But I think what was so cool was like so many of the interactions I started just getting yeses by people who were, you know, asked a very awkward question. Like I asked this one like guy, if he could give me a piggyback ride down in Cottesloe Beach, and he was like, yeah, and he just piggyback rode me for like 50 meters. You know, we had a huge laugh and a hug and went on with his day. And like, I think just so you don't have to go that far, but to just be willing to have like a conversation with a stranger who's like next to you or at a coffee shop or compliment someone, like to go out on a limb and be a bit vulnerable where you don't know where the convo is going to go. You don't know what's going to happen. You're not following a script with what you're saying. Like those are the spaces where people, you can probably snap people out of just the kind of treadmill that they're on with their normal routine in life and not talking to a lot of different people and just, I don't know, give people a bit of a spark in their day just by being the person willing to say something to someone you don't know. And that was like the biggest thing that I learned from it. And I guess that probably influenced me quite a bit when I then went on my big kind of travel stint, just wanting to, I don't know, maybe grab life a bit more and like talk to more people and try and, yeah, just maybe send a few more ripples out, like by doing things and interacting with people and trying to make other people happier, I suppose. Um, yeah, and then I stopped doing it because I was burning out like crazy. I kept going after 30 days without a goal, and I think I lasted another 6 days or 5 days. I was like, man, I think I'm just gonna stop this because I was doing a poll on my story, waiting until midday to hear what it was, and then doing the thing and then posting it that evening. It was just chaos.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome challenge to do, and yeah, I've definitely recommended people to do their own kind of mini versions. Yeah, you can sure challenge yourself, but also just make other people a bit happier, which is really cool for free. You can do it to any stranger that walks past you. You know.
What was the best interaction you had with a stranger?
Oh, day 8, I was planting a pot plant. I wanted to plant one in someone's front yard. Yeah, knocked on a door of a house, and it was this lady who was just so lovely, already greeting me with a warm smile before I'd asked anything. So I had a plant. She had a bunch of plants. Her name's Anne. I've like caught up with her since, and she's lovely. And yeah, she was just so taken back when I asked if I could put this pot plant in her kind of garden. And I was there for I guess half an hour, 45 minutes, and showed me how to do it. We planted it, talked about life. It was incredible. And then yeah, after I got back from my travels, we caught up for a cup of tea. I see her around here and there. Keep in contact still. That was just the most wholesome one for sure. Yeah, really, really cool.
That's epic.
That had nothing to do with rejection therapy at that point. That was
No, it
just,
doesn't need to.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
that's beautiful. What about that when you did get on the news? I was watching the YouTuber as well. That 30 seconds of just going, I'm going to take this opportunity. And like, I love in the book as well, you speak a lot about alignment, and you could have just tried to ride the wave to get more clout, be like, no, I want to speak from the heart, like how you feel. Um, yeah, talk about that experience.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So like, funnily enough, that was in October and I'd done rejection therapy in April and I was back in Perth and, yeah, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do next. Kind of, I was picking up some kind of video work clients again and back in media and enjoying it and came back from such a crazy Europe trip, and I'm like, fuck, where am I going now? And yeah, got an email from, I guess, one of the team members of Sunrise, um, who does the kind of outreach, and saying, hey, like, we saw your rejection therapy stuff. We'd love to have you on to talk about it on Sunrise. I was like, okay, like that was 4 months ago, but sure. And didn't really know what was going to come of it at all. And yeah, Sunrise is also on it. I think it's on at 7 a.m. Sydney time. So I was live pretty early as well. I think I was live on air from the Perth studio, being behind 2 hours. I think I was on air live at like 5:15 in the morning. So yeah, anyway, we booked a time in, and had to get up at like 4 o'clock. It was, and I had bags under my eyes. I was like, far out. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Like, how's this going to go? I get there, I've been warned by, there was empty office with the one camera guy who's come in stupidly early to help film my little bit, because the main office is Sydney. And I was just calling in kind of from their Channel 7 headquarters in Perth. And the cameraman was super lovely, set me up, puts the thing in my ear so I can hear what's going on. And someone's talking to me saying, hey, Sam, you're on in 2 minutes, whatever. Really weird experience. And yeah, he was like, by the way, like, it goes really fast. Don't hang around too much on each question. This is the cameraman. And if you have something you really want to say, practice it now, and you'll be able to find a place to fit it in. And I'd just been thinking about on the drive there, like, how I really didn't want to talk about rejection therapy that much, I suppose, and how it was going to be about what was the funniest interaction. And I was wondering how deep it would really go, you know? Like, I've been on such a journey outside of rejection therapy, and now there was this platform for it, and I even had deeper thoughts about what rejection therapy really could mean, and with like people needing to get off their phones and talk to each other, and make everyone happier by being human again and talking and interacting. And yeah, I guess I just had this moment where I was hoping for a window to have a question which just gave me a bit of room. And I think it started out with, so what is rejection therapy? And I'm ripping my answers pretty good, warmed up, felt all right, not stumbling over my words. So I was already kind of like feeling good, which was important. And then when, after explaining, I think a question about, something about like what was it doing for people? Like why do you think it matters? One more question was kind of about, it really wasn't giving me much room at all, but you could tell it was like the last question as well, and a short segment. And I think he said something along the lines of, is this the way of the participation medal generation? Everyone getting awarded something and not being kind of told no. Do you think we need, it really wasn't that open of a question, actually. I think it was something along, should people, what do you think maybe the cost is of like the way the current system is not maybe being honest with young people? And it was broad enough to I just ran into my thoughts about, I guess, the education system and wanting to like follow your passion, and how young people aren't, I guess, given much of a space to explore things they care about, and the way that school gives ticks and crosses on things that young people don't necessarily even have an interest in, and people get devalued based on their performance in a subject which may have nothing to ever do with them, and that can devalue how important they think they are. I just riffed, and yeah, looking back on it, I don't know how honestly I pulled together like a couple banger sentences, because yeah, it was really scary hopping on air. And then I think once I just got given that free reign, I've talked about rejection therapy so much before that on some podcasts and stuff, and explaining it to people, where I was just ready to just keep ripping and not thinking about the fact that I was on air and stuff. And yeah, ended up being obviously like a really good reel, and that kind of where I had that monologue. But yeah, it felt like a real chapter, like, or checkpoint, on like the fact that I changed so much as well over the last year. Like, I couldn't have imagined, even now I can't really imagine having to do that again. Like hopping on the news and trying to speak like that. But yeah, it was such a cool experience, and it definitely was a big like thing for me, even me, to be able to go, cool, like, I'm not the rejection therapy guy, really, like, this is what I care about, and being able to talk about that on air was really sick.
Yeah, do you think that was like the catalyst, like having conversations and thoughts like that for the book, The Third Path?
Yeah, totally. Like that was the moment I guess I owned that I was gonna really stand by those beliefs as well. The
Mm,
book was another challenge in doing that, having to really write all those things down and be like, no, this is what I think, and this is what I'm going to share. Um, so the book itself was a journey in doing that, but I think definitely that, like the reason I kind of even was considered writing the book and wanting to go back in that direction and kind of away from, I had like a chance to really grow my media business with a friend and like really go in that direction with like making an agency. And I actually watched back the newsreel, and I say at the end something about how I hope I can rejection therapy can just be the very first thing I've done that's like a change for young people. And I kind of was like, damn, like I don't know if I'm doing that right now. Like if I'm still like leading by that mission, and that's kind of so it's been a really important part of the whole journey. Yeah,
mm. Yeah, I love it. I think it's awesome what you're doing because like school, I'm not going to say it failed me, but I definitely, yeah, I've never bought into the study to get the thing to get do this job or work a 9 to 5. Like I've never, it's never been aligned with me. Like the freedom and flexibility has been something that I've always valued. Like at the moment, I work 5 hours a day, 5 days, like 5 days a week. I'd much rather do less days, but at the moment, I need to work to pay bills. Hopefully, this can take off, and we can work around that.
what's that?
But my peace is more valuable to me than money at the moment. Well, I think it always will be. It always has been. I'd much rather like have energy and space to do things I love. And if that I have to sacrifice a bit of money for that, then I'll do it. And it's the same as like I couldn't put effort into things that I don't give a shit about, i.e. subjects at school that mean nothing to me, that don't even translate into anything outside of school. Like I can't say that I do much about 15th century history. Like I just so how do you expect a kid to then knuckle down for an hour a week, 2 hours a week, study for it, and then retain all that information for a 90-minute exam? It's just
Yeah,
stupid, in my opinion.
yeah. I think the worst part about that is the way that um someone can then see themselves as not smart, clever, capable, a good student, good kind of young person, not capable, and like be that kind of be labeled as that kind of person based on that. Just so
Yeah.
dangerous, man. For going forward and self worth, being measured by something pretty pretty specific. Um, I think that's probably the thing that I find the more I think about it, the
Mm.
most potentially harmful for young people going
Yeah,
into school.
I think it's getting worse too because now if kids can't sit down and conform to a classroom, they're getting labeled with disorders and then medicated as well to be able to try and fit them in that box. So before they used to be just the energetic loud kid, and now they've got ADHD,
It's
and
been
whatever else
medicated
you
to
want to
get
throw at
through
them.
the curriculum, like to
Mm.
be able to get through the thing that, yeah, I've, it's quite, yeah, it's
I
scary.
remember this it was year 8 science, I reckon, and the teacher was like, "Oh, like maybe you have like trouble learning." And I was like, no, I just don't care about science. Like in other classes, like in PE, I'm fucking locked in. Like, let's go. I'm all for it. Whether that's the theory side and the body and anatomy, and that's still stuff that I will watch on YouTube and learn about. But when it's stuff people don't care about, how do you expect them to just sit down for an hour and a half and take it in? Like, just not. Yeah, I don't know. We can just drug them up instead and make them conform. But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's good. That's why I just wanted to give you gratitude for all the stuff you're doing because I
that's it.
think for me, even though I already have the same values and beliefs, it just kept reaffirming and it pushed me to action. Go, yeah, no, he's right. Like, let's do that now. All the things I had been putting off, I was like, let's do it. Like, I set off, yeah, I registered a business name and another ABN. It's like, well,
Yeah,
I'm saying I want more freedom. What action am I taking? All right, let's do it. Like,
sick. Yeah, no, so cool, man. And I think that's
mm,
that, especially if you're, or just in general, I think it's important to remember that that's the way you can still take ownership and not blame it on the system, like, and still walk your own path. Like I've thought about it before as like trying to quote unquote fix the education system is kind of like, I guess, trying to um, do repairs on a plane while it's midair. You just,
Mm,
I think the way I've been approaching it is to try and build something alongside it. And that's kind of what I've been wanting to do and looking to do. I guess that's kind of with the book as well. Like I haven't gone in with a manifesto about the changes I'm going to make with the government to overhaul the system. Which, you know, and also the second you make one change, being realistic, there will be another problem that comes up that, especially even on a business side for the government, will be very problematic. So, um, yeah, I think to be able to take ownership and be like, cool, what can I do for me now, where I'm at right now, to live a life that's more aligned or that's going to
mm.
be more aligned with me and bring me closer to the freedom that you're looking for.
Yeah. I've got some screenshots up of the book that I read that I was like, all right,
Cool.
these quotes, these things are awesome. I'd love to talk to you about them. Um, and I feel these were asking better questions and your real signal services. And I'd like if you could relate them back to yourself, um, and like how this works for you, like your process, so other people can see. So it's like, what have my past attempts taught me about peace, energy, and meaning? If nobody could see me, what would I still choose to do? And then what would I joyfully suffer because I love it that much?
Yeah. Yeah. Those kind of questions. I was actually talking about this with, on another podcast the other day, like how the quality of your questions can determine the quality of your life or your journey. And like being willing to ask those kind of questions, which are trying to lead you to the feeling you might have here about what you really care about, and, you know, passion or your purpose. That's what those questions are all about. Like finding that thing. And at the start, especially, like those questions might just bring up, oh, you know, like I really, I really like making videos, but, you know, beyond that, I have no idea how I'd make that a career, or do I do YouTube? I have no idea, but I, damn, I always think about that. Like, and that was the truth for me, because as a kid, that was kind of the answer I came to. Because yeah, as a kid, I used to make YouTube videos when I was in like year 7. Um, I was like good with a Rubik's cube, and I was getting really fast at solving them, and I was entering competitions, and I was making videos unboxing Rubik's cubes. I was getting sent Rubik's cubes from like a few companies. Like I was good. I won a competition in WA. Um, but anyway, I was making all these videos and loving it, like freely going with the camera, just having the time of my life with it. And then when I got to like year 9, I like deleted my entire channel after someone found it at school, and it just freaked me out, you know? And yeah, I think when I started asking those questions again about like, damn, what are the things that like, the question that got me was like, what's something I've left behind that I used to love because I was too scared what people would say or think about it. And it was that, like making videos. And then I guess the next step is to then have the courage to be like, damn, like you need to explore that again. You cared about that. Like where'd that go? And yeah, so I'm really glad I did. But I think asking those questions to yourself about, well, damn, what are the things that you know, I'd be willing to like go through the mud to keep doing and like suffer for in order to just be able to share this with the world or continue doing it because I love it so much. Are not easy questions, but that's the work right there. That could be the highest leverage move you make in your life if you find the thing that, you know, sets you off on a journey that becomes your career and your meaningful kind of mission. So being willing to like sit in spaces like that and ask yourself questions where the answers might be a bit upsetting as well, knowing that you completely left something behind, or you are caring too much about what other people think and it's stopping you from doing something. Really
Mm.
important questions. Yeah.
Yeah, that inspired a lot in me. Like the podcast is one of them. Like before we started, I was saying how many struggles I'm having with this, and there's a lot of resistance, but I'll still keep doing it because I love doing it. And at the very least, it's a great conversation. And the other one is footy. Like I'm not the best player, no way. Like I'd be in the AFL if it was, but I want it that fucking bad, and I love it that much that I've made it to live in another state. I'm about to move to Queensland to go play as well, like because I want it that bad, despite the judgment, despite the comments from anonymous people on Instagram saying, yeah, but you this, like, you're always not good enough. I wanted that bad that I'll make it happen. So that's something that or like this morning, I had to be at the footy ground at 7:20 to go coach under 15 girls footy or assistant coach. And I put in the team's chat, the dog had spewed up and I had to clean it up. I was like, sorry, I'm really late. And whose idea was it to, like, I can't believe I'm getting up earlier on a Sunday than I do during the week. Like, I wouldn't get up this early for work, but for
Yeah.
footy, for free, to help other people, like, no worries, I'll get up for it. So, um, yeah, those questions really inspired something in me, and it was a good opportunity for me to reflect. And one thing I reckon I'd add a question to that, how you've got what makes me spring out of bed when it's on my calendar, would be, what's one thing that I would regret not doing if I was on my deathbed? Like, what are you going to get to the end of your life and go, I wish I did that? Because they're the conversations I'm having with people now. Like, I'm 29, 30 next year. A lot of friends are getting mortgages and having kids, and now they can't do things anymore. Or they're saying to me, I wish I could do this. I wish I had the freedom to do that,
Yeah.
which they still do. They're self-made prisons. That
Totally.
would be a question I would add.
Yeah, I love that.
Is there something that you can think of that that you're still like, all right, if I get to the end of my life and I haven't done this, I'll be upset.
Yeah, love that. Is there anything that I've got?
Mm.
Or I think I think a big one for me now is like the travel front, because I really still want to do some significant adventures and trips, and like challenging ones as well. I want to go to hopefully South America next year, but to do like some serious long stints of being away still from home for away from Australia for 4, 5, 6 months, or even going away for like a whole year, and exploring a continent, or trying to go from the one I've been always thinking about. I saw this video of this guy who went from Alaska to Patagonia by motorbike, and it was I think now I've done enough travel where I can be like, I can get away with saying I've done enough travel if I wanted to, as an excuse for not doing as much in the future. Um, but I really want to get out of my comfort zone with that again. And I think if I
Mm.
haven't fully done some pretty incredible trips by the time I can't anymore, then I would really regret that. You know, South America has to be done, Central Asia has to be done, Alaska. I want to really, yeah, I want to see the whole world, and I think it's easy to almost slip into, after doing a few, like, I've done some Europe trips and Southeast Asia stuff, to be like, yeah, cool, I'm just gonna like get real comfortable for another whole year and not do that. But that's where I want to keep throwing my money, to be honest. Being away and traveling and seeing as much as I can. So yeah, I want to keep doing that.
Yeah, I really want to do one of those extended trips. Like, I saw the Patagonia one. I know second, like a degree of separation between the bloke that did the Dublin to Istanbul on the kayak,
Wow.
and the year before he did from Canada to Costa Rica. And I think he did that on a push bike, and like push bike in 10. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, right. That's pretty.
Like,
That's different.
that's a stretch. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, all right, I want to do something like that. Like, it's physical challenge, mental challenge. You get to see lots of countries, meet lots of people. Um, that's something I definitely want to tick off as well.
Yeah, just to really drop it all again, wherever you're at, to just almost drop everything and strip it all back again. Like, I think that's
Mm.
such an awesome way to travel in general. Even if you are, you're not trying to do a trek through Patagonia on a bike packing, but even if you're just gonna, you're working hard in your business and in your almost maybe kind of material world back home, and then you just leave a lot of that behind, grab a carry-on backpack, and just go a bit nomadic through some
Mm.
countries. It's just like, it's such an incredible feeling. And also to go somewhere where you know that basically no one knows you is such an awesome thing. Like, I've loved that so much, because you can just drop everything and just be a wanderer in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved when you were talking about on your YouTube about solo travel and how you are more open to meeting people in alignment with you because they don't have to match all of your friends. It's literally someone who's on the same wavelength. It's more likely to meet someone because you're not with the comfort of your friends. So you're not looking around to meet new people. You're just happy with them.
Yeah.
I noticed the same doing travel, or I went to end of 2023 at Bushduck by myself. because it was a cool little
Yeah,
stretch. I went to a
cool.
couple. Um, actually, you know your mate, is it Sam McGovern? Is that the singer? Is that
Yep.
his name? I saw him play at New Year's on the Hill. That was
Oh,
end of
cool.
2023 in Victoria. I went to that by myself as
Yeah.
well.
Sick.
So yeah, I've seen him IRL, but
Yeah, cool.
same sort of thing. He's like, I'm doing this because I want to do it. I love that music, or I want to see this country. And you're going to meet someone who also loves the same music or wants to see the same country. You're going to share the experience anyway. I
Yeah.
think solo travel is huge. Yeah.
That's so huge. And it's really hard as well. Like it's not just all glamorous and but that's what makes it great at the exact same time. Like
Yeah.
being really challenged or getting a bit lonely or being kind of broken down when something goes wrong and you've got no one around you to really help you and you have to figure it out on your own. Um yeah, solo travel can be very hard as well, but I think that's just it's all part of that journey, and you look back on it so fondly. You know, even if that is like, yeah, sure, solo travel and backpacking, but just doing things on your own in general. Yeah, it's just a great place to learn more
Mm.
about yourself, and yeah,
Yeah. Sitting with myself is something I struggle with. So I was really relating when you were talking about that. And if you're comfortable to talk about the breakup as well, I didn't know that you were in a relationship and how hard that is because I do the same. I bury my head in other things. I remember I went to a breakup last year and I had, a couple of days feeling sorry for myself. And my solution for feeling sorry for myself was I strapped on a weight vest and went and ran half a marathon. I
yeah,
was like,
wow,
I want to run the energy out rather than just sitting there and feeling it. I was like, just do something hard.
yeah,
Yeah, if you can give insight into that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, how long has it been? Probably 2.5 months ago. Yeah, me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, and yeah, we just done we were going through a bit of a long distance stretch as well. She'd been working away in Greece, which was so cool. And that's why when I went to do Europe this year, we traveled together in the middle of kind of our long distance kind of stretch. Um, yeah. And for a variety of reasons, things weren't really working. And, upon her getting back, that's when it ended. And, yeah, that journey of, yeah, being alone again was very hard. Um, but like the first week, I was like ground zero for sure. Um, going through all of it, and then I suppose all of a sudden I started feeling better pretty quickly, and I was like, wow, I'm great. Like this is all, I'm fine. Like I'm free. This is all really cool. I'm gonna focus fully on my business and go crazy. And this was like I think I just finished the book writing, and I was into the editing, so I had plenty to kind of do, and I was just going like I was just working incredibly hard, and I picked up my fitness again like crazy. I was back to running, exercising every day, and getting on top of my health. And I'm like, I'm so back. This is great, and and then yeah, I got to Vietnam because I was starting to feel a bit weird, and I was like, oh, look, I just oh, but I've got a free calendar. Yeah, I'm gonna go do a solo trip to Vietnam and work from there for a bit, and digital nomad, and it's all good. And yeah, I definitely got there and I was alone again. And even when I got to the airport, like the last time I'd been traveling was like with her, and I get to the airport and go, whew, bit of whiplash, like just fully decelerate. All of a sudden, don't have my ASM sorted yet. Can't go on my phone. Okay, well, it's still here. Like I've been running from this thing. When I was convincing myself I wasn't. And yeah, being away was a great place for going through it. And I think I still probably danced around it because I just worked really hard instead. Um, but yeah, the journey of like, I don't know, just going through something ending like that. And even in general with relationships ending, where you go from seeing someone all the time to then basically not seeing them at all. Um, it's like a death of someone where you just lose someone that you really care about who knows the most about you. And I think that's something I'm still just kind of day by day getting better at. Um, but yeah, if anyone's going through one, I think it really is just riding the highs and the lows. I've been talking to a friend recently who is probably a month behind me, as in like his relationship ended a month later. Um, and we're just talking about the fact that you just need to just hang around and the waves come and go. And even, a month after the relationship ended, I kind of hit this slump again of being like, damn, like now I'm really feeling it. I've put this off and now it's here, the processing and going through the kind of from start to finish, like reliving a lot of what happened and trying to make sense of it again and why it ended and going through all of that. On one hand, it's been totally hard and like definitely rocked me towards the end of the year at times. But at the same time, it's been 2.5 months since that ended. And I've probably had the most growth of my entire life in the last 2.5 months. I feel like a completely different person. And there's still a part of me that's getting through the relationship for sure. But man, I just, it's been such a reminder that those things, whatever it is, if it's a relationship or not, like those challenges, they can absolutely make you. And I've learned more in the last 2.5 months than I've learned uh, in any other kind of 2.5 month window. So I'm so grateful for it. But yeah, man, it's a hard one to describe as a challenge. You just if you know it, you know it, and it's definitely been one that's hurt this year, but also taught me more than anything.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the saying goes, it's not a loss, it's an opportunity for growth. Same as in sport, in business, that sort of thing. But you said you have learned the most in these 2.5 months. What's a couple of things that stand out for you that you've learned
I've learned a
about
lot of
yourself, about the world?
yeah, a lot of intangibles about me, like ones where I just feel like I understand myself so much better now. I don't know how to deal with emotions better. What I'd been really running from. Um, Looking back on the relationship now with a lot of clarity as to why, I had some real periods this year, of being really, really anxious, like, and really going in a weird, I was spinning out for a bit in the middle of the year. And I now looking back without the relationship there, there's just so much more clarity around what was getting to me in the relationship that was upsetting me or making me anxious. Um, when I was like running from things outside of it and not facing challenges in like in making content and work and understanding my journey because of even the attention I was just putting on someone else, for better or for worse. But um, yeah, I don't know. I think I understand my emotions a lot better now. Like when
Mm.
things come up, I can just listen to them and yeah, I've got a lot more love for myself after going through that as well. Like now I'm like, I don't know, I'm a bit more sympathetic to myself when any challenge arises, I feel like in the future. Like I've been able to go through this and then learn a lot from it about yeah, what I can also get through on my own. And it's just motivated me a lot in other senses, I guess, as well for working and even to just be happier in general. Like I think I started being happier when I just decided to. Like decided to stop being sad about it. And that was like a real hard, like, damn, I think it's up to me now. And I have to have the courage to like do that each morning when I get out of bed. And once I
Mm.
started doing that, I was like, wow, like this really is damn, well done. You give myself a pat on the back for that, but you can do it yourself. So yeah, just giving me a lot more clarity in general as well, I suppose, about where I want to take things in the future. And not for any bad reason against the relationship, but just because of the experience of it ending has just, I don't know, almost it gave me this like nice, it just took off some of the armor for a second and I could just look at myself again almost and kind of decide what I wanted to do from that
Mm.
point on. Um, so yeah, a lot of the growth was definitely intangible as well. Where it's hard to describe, but I just feel like I've changed. I'm almost a bit, I don't know, yeah, different.
Giving you space to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you mentioned the anxiety, and I think you spoke about it in YouTube about panic attacks, which I've had in periods, not panic attacks, but like definitely anxiety. And it's like a mutual, I can feel it in my chest. Um, how do you manage that? Because I feel like I would be putting my own experience onto you, but for me, anxiety is usually lack of control of outcome. It also due to the attachment of our own expectations as well. We want things to be a certain way, and when we can't control them, that causes anxiety. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, do you feel like you relate with that? And then how do you manage that?
Yeah. I think for me, it was always coming back to what was true in the moment and just trying to, that would always help me in the moment, get a bit of a grip almost.
Mm,
And whether that was writing down or like saying in like a voice note, like what's true right now, depending on what that anxiety was about. And I think the scary part was if you're really anxious and you have no idea why, to kind of know where to go from there. Um, but yeah, remembering what was true in the moment. Okay, this is where I am. I'm safe. I'm here. Um, I'm doing this at the moment. I'm gonna chill out. Like honestly though, man, like yeah, that's probably all I've got. Like it's just stopped. I'm just a bit less anxious now. And I wish I had like a nice, yeah, like a nice way to really approach it. But like, I just had this stint in the middle of the year where, and I think long distance was not a nice little helper for that. Like the relationship, looking back on it, was a factor, not at any fault of the other person, but just the emotional fire that is in a relationship, what in any relationship, I suppose, was like the big factor for me that sparked enough anxiety to kind of sometimes tip over. And
mm,
yeah, I think just telling people, being held by someone when you're going through that as well. So you're not being understood and comforted by someone when the wheels start to fall off, um, was a big difference maker as well. But
yeah,
yeah, at the same time, I think the more I almost reflected on it each time, the more the once it happened a couple times as well, I kind of knew what was going on, and I guess that helped. Um, but yeah, I think that's it's a bit scary because I don't necessarily have like the manual yet for if that comes up again. But I think all the experiences that I've had, even with the breakup now, has just given me a better understanding of myself and me at like a pretty raw, purely just the real Sam underneath everything. That I think I'll be able to kind of manage it if it came back up in the future.
mm. Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing. Um, I've just thought it like this is coming up now. Emotions are generally things that are like internal reactions to things happening outside of us.
Mm,
Because how often you hear, oh, hearing that makes me happy. Oh, that guy pissed me off. Or something outside of me is making me feel a certain way. And when you detach and you're asking yourself what's true for me now, I think that's a great thing to use, like what's actually happening.
mm,
And I remember seeing my housemate do this. She was attempting a 190K run for charity, and she was having like PTSD flashbacks, and she was just reciting what she was doing, like where she was. She's like, I'm at Ballon Park, I'm running, it's 4 p.m. Like she literally just forcing herself back into presence
mm.
and what she's actually in control of. Because the things that she was experiencing were outside of her control. So there's actually a really good tool and a clinical use for it.
There you go. That's cool.
So yeah. Um, but I love that you spoke about being held. And one thing I put in my notes was community, because you spoke about the importance of community in the book. And um, I'm a massive advocate for community. That's been the biggest part of my personal growth, spiritual growth, is being around other people, um, whether it's for support, for advice, to piggyback off of, to learn from. It's huge. I'd love for you to speak about the power of community for you and why you found so important.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I guess with me, like quite simply with community, it's just one of the best parts has been just having examples of people who are doing the things that maybe you want to be doing. Like in one sense, having those role models in a community for whatever reason, for like the external side of like they have a business like you want, or they're physically fit like you want to be, but just even those kind of role models of people's character, like just being around that, that like there's that classic quote about you being the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, um, whether that's true or not, maybe, probably. But like it just speaks to the fact that the people you are around is so important for the things you're hearing for sure, but just the feeling that you get, and the kind of energy of those people and how's that impacting you. Um, and yeah, I've always found that when I'm around people who are one pushing me probably to be better, leading by example with what they're doing, and just caring and being a supporting person who is interested in me. Yeah, I think with a space like that, being surrounded by people who are like that is just like the best foundation to be then able to kind of go off on your own with that community kind of quietly backing you, and knowing you've got their support to go on and do your own thing as well. Um, that's one part of it. And then definitely like having a space where you're giving back is just meaningful. You know, I'm sure you felt that with footy, like um, just feeling like you're contributing to other people's journeys, making their days a bit better. Or like my main friend group, like we get a coffee almost every morning. Like like someone there's like it's about a group of like 7 of us, I reckon, and someone's getting a coffee each morning. And not everyone will be around each time, but like at least 2 people, and usually probably like an average of 4 or 5 will be there. And I just got this really tight friend group, and we're all doing different things completely with where we're going. But we just have a real deep understanding of each other, and we're really close. And even that kind of smaller community sense of like of a really close friend group where like I'm the only one in there who's making content, for example. It's not like they're all influencers or something, or it's we're all very different, and that's not necessarily the most important thing. I think it's like the feeling you get when you're around those people and how well they understand you, and you feel like you have that kind of relationship where everyone's helping each other in different ways. Yeah, I guess there's a few different sides to the community aspect of your little groups and your kind of massive groups, I suppose. Hey.
Yeah. No, I love that. You see me like I'm getting up because I'm like so energized by this topic because it's the same. My favorite thing to do, I like if you go to any community event, like I know you're in Perth, they've got cold nips, a similar thing like that. The event is cool, but my favorite part is going to a cafe after
Yeah.
and catching up and having those conversations with people there. Like, Cold Nips actually, when they did the Australia tour, I saw them. Like, I went to the one in Melbourne, and then I got arrived in Darwin at like 1 a.m. and they were there at 6 a.m. and I'm going. I met a couple of guys that had moved up here for footy as well, and like I ended up living with one of them. Like, really great connection that morning. Like,
Sick.
he ran a community in Gold Coast, I ran one in Melbourne. We clicked, like really good mates. Still talk. He's back in Tassie now, and like connected with a couple other guys from Cold Nips. And but those chats, obviously, coffee gets you up and about, but like I'm talking, your soul leaves those experiences energized.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's the power of community for me. It's like knowing you're going to meet there, chat with people, but you leave with more energy than you came.
Yep.
Versus you go to work and you need a coffee to get through the day because you're flat. You're emotionally not invested. You don't want to be there. You don't care about it. For my experience, for work, other people like I hope hopefully you're living out your purpose and doing your job that you're passionate about. For me, not at the moment, but conversations like this now, like I'm literally, I can't sit still. Like I'm loving this chat. Had a Men Over Matter event the other week, which is like the men's community I run. And we had our first event in Darwin, and we had 20 people book, and we had a cyclone, so we had to postpone the event. And
Nice.
the next week, 2 people came.
Oh, damn.
I left fucking buzzing
Yeah, yeah.
because it's not about the quantity of people there, it's the quality of conversations we have, and we had some really great chats. And I left the cafe flying. Like I was so happy. Like I cannot wait to do this again because the people I met were in alignment. I was feeling my soul's purpose, bringing men together, having conversations, and I just felt energized. So, power of community for me is great, and I love that you talked about it, and I love that you're getting, you know, I don't know exact age your target audience, like if you've written one down, but I would say like 16 to 21, 22 year olds should all be reading a book
Sick.
because it's, yeah, perfect. And even for me, like I didn't, like I said, I never believed in like, I wanted to have fun first, like do chase what lights you up. So I didn't know what I wanted to do outside of school. Did the same similar sort of thing. Like did fitness, then just like did whatever jobs to pay the bills, and was never happy in them. And then eventually during COVID, got an interest in finance, stocks, crypto. Um, as you know, we spent a lot of time online and reading books about personal development and money. And so I found something I enjoyed. So I went to uni, and then I realized that I can't sit in an office 9 to 5 working for other people, especially when there's lots of stress and anxiety and money on the line. And even working in a bank now, I just do the retail side. I don't have an interest anymore in climbing the corporate ladder because I see them all get there before me, leave after me. They're always pacing around and looking stressed out and going, yep, just trying to get through the day. It's only 2 weeks till Christmas. Like, that's not in alignment.
Yeah.
So I don't think kids should feel forced to do a degree or study a certain thing that they aren't passionate about. There is a third path.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I also just don't think it's realistic to try and just to try and get it first try. Like you've been in one train track for 17 years and then go and pick the thing for the rest of your life. Like how did that, just that on paper, you just hear that, you go, that doesn't sound like a great setup.
Yeah.
Um, and you can freely do whatever you want when you leave school, but damn, the pressure of choosing that one thing is immense.
Mm.
And yeah, I think overall, if it can be a reminder, like, and I guess my page, that you have the freedom to explore and try things and live and try and create a deeper life, like without this feeling of that time is just running away from you when it's not at 18, let alone 30, and going on. Um, so much time to find the thing that lights you up. And if you're willing to
Mm.
go into the discomfort of like exploring that and a bit of uncertainty, then I think you'll be rewarded. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about failures? Because another, like, I love reading this, reading the book, and like, I'm a few years older than you. But the clothing brand, I did that at 21
Mm.
as well with no plan. I was just like, this is going to work because my friends will support me. And my clothing brand was the classic, like, black t-shirt, white t-shirt with a pocket and then a big logo on the back. That was the thing at the time. And I love drink as 21-year-olds do, like most do, of drinking. So it was like 2 beers. And I was like, everyone drinks beers. Like, everyone's going to love that. But I had no plan, no business idea. I was just like, yep, people will buy it. I'll be chilling. Didn't work out. Same thing. I've still got boxes in my parents' house.
I,
I
uh,
saw. I noticed a box in your YouTube video.
I think that's, there's a few hoodies in there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I've still got them because I didn't have to. Like, what do you do with them? I don't know. Take them to Savers. I like
I
a
probably should
Salvers.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're still like in a cupboard in my parents' place somewhere. So there's failures along the way. I don't think people, and you were alluding to it before, you don't need to hit it first go. A lot of the time you don't, but we never see that. Like, I didn't know you did the clothing brand until I read the book, which is awesome. And I'd love for you to touch on a few things that you have failed, but they're not failures. Like, a few things that you've learned along the way that didn't,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm getting at?
A couple of attempts. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let a few, to the keeper.
yeah,
Yeah. God, there's been plenty, man. Like during school, firstly, um, I I loved surf photography. I had my dad's old camera in the water. I bought this water housing on eBay for Chrissy for like, I think it was like $500 and it was dodgy. And I had a little old GoPro as well. And I was like loving going down to the beach and taking photos in the water of like the shore break and waves and my friends surfing. And I tried selling prints for probably 2 years during school, or at least a year and a half, making different websites and putting them up and launching it and making an Instagram called Sam O'Brien Photography. I think it's still there, or Witness Creative, it's called now. When I moved it to the video stuff, um, but yeah, like I didn't sell a single print, like not one. Actually, I think I sold my neighbors bought one, but like I didn't sell a single one really to anyone who wasn't, I think, my neighbor or my mum. And yeah, I printed a bunch out. Like I bought the packing slips, such an exciting process. But yeah, like launched it, didn't sell a single one. I remember lying to people saying I was like selling a few every now and then, like people asking at school. It's just embarrassing to be like, I've
yeah,
sold nothing. Um, that was one thing where I would have tried that multiple times as well. Like I was gonna, yeah, sell these little prints. And then I was trying to do big posters as well. Some of the photos were pretty cool. But yeah, they weren't selling. Um, and then yeah, leaving school, continued to try that here and there. Witness Creative was the very first iteration of like my freelance kind of video work. Um, yeah, the amount of outbound I would have done, like reaching out to businesses to do photography for them, like I reckon I heard back from 5%, and then got a yes from 1% in total, I guess, to do work. Like at the start, it's like it's a brutal game, and I had no experience, and I was really bad at sending messages as well. Um, and I got a few first clients when I was like in year 12 doing video work. Um, Took photos for my friend's clothing brand, which was a lot of a much better setup than mine. But then I tried turning that freelance videography business into a clothing brand. And those two things don't really coexist ever. But I wanted to try and make it work. And I think I realized why people don't try and combine like a freelance business with a cool clothing brand, because it doesn't work. Few of my friends still wear the tees. Like this morning, I got a coffee with a mate. He threw it on, which was funny. It's almost a bit of a meme now. But yeah, I like when my tax return came in from when I was working on a gap semester. It was like a grand tax return from working 6 months. It was epic, and I bought, yeah, 2 grand worth of hoodies and a grand worth of tees, and man, I didn't get close to breaking even. I lost.
No.
I would have probably got like maybe less than a grand back, probably like $500 back. Um, and I was like, fuck, like I don't want to go to uni anymore. I got this tax return and I just blew all of it, instantly, and no one was buying anything. And I think I ran a sale on the hoodies for like made them like $60 one time, and they just looked bad, and they were bad blank. I got it wrong. I put the print in a bad spot. I was disappointed in them. It all was pretty messy. But then, so forgetting that though, like even on the content side, I've tried all these different series, like ideas throughout. What have I done? Rejection therapy was the one that worked, like the one that like got attention. Um, yeah, I tried like a journaling series. I'd done some interviews which were actually pretty good. I've just like I've then posted stuff in landscape. I tried starting a podcast middle of the year when I was working so hard, and it was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Like I was already working on the media business and some mentoring and working at my old school still. And then I tried starting a podcast in the middle of it, burnt out, did like 3 episodes. Um, I think overall, like throwing the pasture at the wall, like it's just taught me so much. Action creates clarity. Like that's the thing I talk about in the book. And all those actions were still aligned, like based on the feeling I had about trying to create something. And most of them haven't led to anything like immediately, but all those lessons are like so valuable. And it's given me all the tools I need now to be able to launch at something and get it right. Like, so yeah, I wouldn't change any of those things. Like, especially me at the very start trying to sell prints, I would have learnt so much about the nature of business as well from that, and putting yourself out there. Um, so yeah, most of the reels I'd post, like, probably don't see that many eyeballs, and then a few go. And that's the thing that people forget about, right?
Mm.
Forget about those things get that don't come up, they don't get seen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, during today, I literally was guy on TikTok. Like I've met him personally, and his TikTok, he only had 300 and something followers, but one of his pinned videos has 1.1 million views,
Well,
and the rest, the next one's got like 400. And it's like, wow, yeah, like you said, throw a plaster at a wall, like something's gonna stick.
yeah,
And I've definitely learned that along my journey. The clothing brand, I was 21, uh, idiot, got a personal loan because we were going to Europe and I wanted to go. Wasn't going to miss a trip, but I sucked at saving because I couldn't say no to the weekend either. So I just did both. And
yeah,
but I spent like a third of the personal loan on a clothing brand, lost that money. Like cool because I could wear the t-shirt and hoodies in Europe. So people are like, oh, you got a clothing brand, but I had no sales.
yeah, yeah,
So I've definitely done the same. And now, yeah, same thing with like TikTok. I just need to get, more followers equals more opportunities, I guess. So I've tried different things like moving to Darwin to play footy. And at the moment, I'm drinking Oxy Shred daily because I bought fucking heaps of them. I might as well like utilize that as a way of getting content and uh, hopefully get some free stuff. See how we go, or a sponsorship. Like that's the goal for the pod
yeah,
is get someone to fund it, right? Um, but yeah, so many things, so many. But like, I feel like people shouldn't get disheartened if it doesn't land. If anything, for me, it's taught me. to ask myself, how bad do I want it? Like with the podcast, there's been episodes to get like 10, 11, 12 views. And so, all right, did I have a good conversation? Yes, it's worth it. Like, do I want to keep doing this? Yes. All right. Then like there's going to be times where uh, an episode doesn't land, or like, you know, it doesn't land. It doesn't work. Or there's going to be hiccups, but do you want to keep doing it? Yes. All right, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Same with like Men Over Matter. Two people came to the event. Did it like, but is that your goal? No. Like my goal is to help people, help men, like keep chasing alignment. And that's, I guess, a really bad segue, but you speak about alignment as well. Whether that's alignment with your goals, your values, or like your vision. And dude, I can't believe that you're only 21, because the fact that you were shouting out Joe Dispenza and meditation and alignment and all these things at 21 is like wild.
Yeah,
I
I needed yeah, that was a real big help for me this year for sure. Through my lower points, finding him
mm,
was great.
yeah,
I think and even just touching onto a bit of spirituality was just what I needed for sure.
mm.
Um,
Where'd you find that?
um, Probably in someone's podcast. I reckon I listened to Joe Dispenza on Diver CEO or something.
Yeah.
I think I listened to one of his podcasts, like one of his features, and I went, damn, like, and I consumed a lot of him. Got his book and started hopping on to a few of his meditations, and
Mm,
yeah, I haven't been doing it recently actually, but yeah, I really needed that for a bit, and yeah, I don't know. I think Gen Z. I've said it before, like that Gen Z's like spiritually starving, and I think of that in a sense of it's a rabbit hole discussion, but um, the having less of a focus and a amount of attention to religion in younger people, especially in Australia, for better or for worse, with religion as a whole. Like that's not what it's about, but like with religion comes spirituality. You can have spirituality without religion, but spirituality will come with that. And having less of that uh, removes one opportunity, I think, for people to find a sense of meaning beyond themselves. And I think that's really hard. And uh, without that, without a sense of spirituality and finding something that feels a bit deeper and beyond yourself, um, just to continue showing up and being motivated, um, and looking to push and live a meaningful life and be happy, and even, I think it becomes a lot harder without that. So I think a lack of spirituality, I think, is a significant factor in
mm.
people's well-being. And yeah, so I really wanted to touch on that in the book because it's given me a lot for sure.
Yeah, I think it's great that you did that. And because when you talk about that stuff, people will start to put you in a box and say woo woo, and then try and discount some of the things that the other really insightful things do say. But I think spirituality is a pillar of health, like in your personal health. So with Men Over Matter, we talk about like mental health, physical health, spiritual health, and they are all feeding each other. You can't have two without the one. And spiritual health, I don't mean like you need to go pray every day. You don't need to have a religion or anything like that. For me, it's realizing that there's something greater than yourself, because that's what your purpose is, right? Your purpose is usually driven by external factors. And it's like, for me, purpose is wanting to, create a better space for men in the world. And my purpose is to bring people together, spread positivity. It's not like to feed things that are internal. Spiritual is like the universe, right? It's something
Mm.
greater than you. And then if you live intentionally, knowing that there's something greater than you, most of the time you'll be a better person. Whether that's like you believe in karma, it's you're going to be conscious about every action that you have. Whether you believe in God, that God's always watching, you're going to then be better because you're going to go, oh, hang on, maybe I'm not going to litter because God might punish me for it. Maybe I won't gossip about these people because who knows what I'm going to get as a result of that sort
Mm.
of thing. And I think that with not even just Gen Z, just the world we live in at the moment, and we outsource so much of our thought, so much of our energy to technology, where especially AI. Like obviously, it's a great tool, and I'm sure we both utilize it. But AI, I feel like, is the complete polarity of spirituality and God. Because what do they do when you are seeking for answers? Ask God, go meditate, search within, and now it's ask ChatGPT, ask
Sure, yeah.
AI. I don't know. Ask. It's the complete involution of what religion and spirituality is.
Mm. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that before. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Mm,
In the sense of I don't know, there's a lot of terrific beauty in being left with questions that you need to answer yourself, I guess. In
mm,
a real practical sense with making meaningful things online or in business, but also I suppose with yeah, it AI provides a real, and the internet provides a real convenient, quick solution to when you're facing uncertainty, like to give you something. And especially with AI, like its goal is to provide you with as much of an answer as it can. It's better than the internet at like doing that because it will search for you. Um, and yeah, I think that can definitely potentially be a bit of an issue in I don't know, suppose like sitting with uncertainty as well. Yeah, and I think as well, one thing I was thinking about, like spirituality is a nice catalyst to being better at finding things in alignment with you. Because if you're just in general more in touch with you and how you feel, and maybe like trying to listen to a bit of a feeling which is a bit harder to describe, that's a bit deeper, um, that can really help you. If you're someone who's not very spiritual at all and isn't in touch with yourself, probably trying to figure out what is quote unquote aligned is probably really hard. Um, but if you are able to tap into the deeper parts of yourself and just believe in the fact that you can and like be a bit vulnerable and like allowing yourself to try and close your eyes and feel something a bit deeper and go inwards a bit, um, can be a great tool to being able to find something that you really care about
mm.
in the world, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this would be a great prompt for kids and people who aren't in touch with themselves. Do you know much about NLP,
No. No.
neuro linguistic programming? It's basically like hacking someone else's mind, basically, and like it's a bit of it. Like Tony Robinson uses it, and the best way to get an answer out of a kid. You know how so often when you or you're asking your girlfriend or someone on a date, like, "What do you want for dinner?" Or you ask a kid anything and they say, "I don't know."
Yeah.
The best response back is, "Well, what would your answer be if you did know?" Because a lot, I don't know, is just your automatic response when you don't want to answer the question.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to avoid it, to shut it down. Is just, I don't know. Like, why'd you do that? You ask him, why'd you do that? I don't know. Like, well, you do know because you did it. You chose it.
Mm,
So, like, what would you do if you did know? I think,
that's cool.
journaling's awesome, but asking yourself that question as well when you're like, oh, why did this happen? It's like, well, sit with that. Ask yourself why again, because
Yeah.
you will find something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I
you
like
just
that.
got to be willing to dig.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah. Sit with that. Like,
Hmm.
be able to sit in that space instead of kind of run from it. Because the answer might not be something you'd be super proud of, you know? And only you can kind of be the one who's willing enough to like accept the answer or say it out loud to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and that gives the power back to that person as well. Like, how good would it feel if you do know what you want? How you do know what is in alignment with you, rather than going, oh, I don't know, and then you just wait for life to happen for you. You get to take the power and go, oh, this is actually what I want to do. Now I can take action.
Yeah. Totally. And that's just
Mm,
the start, but it's an important part of it, 100%. Yeah. It takes a bit of courage and like vulnerability with yourself to admit where you are. I don't know, where you've been like neglecting something that you know is true, that you haven't been
mm,
letting yourself believe or accept. Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of taking action, yeah, I mentioned that upon reading the book, I'm taking action in registering a business name for, like, I do one-on-one coaching with kids for footy. So, all right, I better like register a business name. Like, let's lean into that. I
Yes.
plan on moving to Queensland. I don't want to have to stay working in a bank. Let's find ways to make more income. Let's lean into that one. I'm actually going to sell some shares and buy a new phone because this one I could have a better one. It's I'm doing a lot of calls online, so I need a better one that has a better battery, better camera, that sort of thing.
Nice.
If you could think of a way to make people take action, like you're in the book, you're telling them to. If there's something like now you could a prompt for someone now to a call to action, basically, what would you give them?
Yeah, good question. I always think about the alternate, like, well, firstly, there's no, that's the hardest part about action is like only one person can do it.
Mm,
And you've got to, you have to, there's like a classic Chris Williamson, I think, quote about how talking about doing the thing isn't doing the thing, and telling your friends about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing, etc., etc. The only thing that is taking the action is literally just taking the action. Um, and I guess the ways I've tried to encourage people before has just been to like even using the kind of the stick and the carrot in ways and thinking about like what is your alternative to not taking this action? Like where are you choosing to sit instead? And is that somewhere that you want to continue to be? And it's usually not when someone's trying to find the courage to like take an action. And I think for me, it's always been just knowing, like, if there's some work I really need to do, just knowing that, man, like this is where most people turn around. One, this is my chance to be great, but by going past the point that most people will give up and turn around, knowing it's necessary. Like this is if I'm going to commit to this journey, this is necessary that I choose in this moment to just take the damn like action that I know I need to. And then, yeah, honestly thinking about what the alternative is, the kind of the stick to it of, sure, I've got this dream, but sometimes the motivating factor is knowing that, like, if I don't just do the thing, then I will always be talking about it. And that isn't going to change my environment. Because, yeah, especially if you're looking for more clarity, dude, like, if you're looking for more clarity, it doesn't come from just like trying to think harder. We're thinking all the time. It won't come from even more YouTube videos. Like YouTube has infinite free information, pretty much. You can find anything you want on there. It's like, can you be held accountable, either to yourself or by telling other people what you're going to do? And then will you just be the person that does it?
mm.
And I wish there was like a nice little kind of little pill you could take that just makes the action happen, but it has to be done by yourself. Yeah.
I think a social contract's a good start, actually.
Mm.
That's helped me. I've literally got here a screenshot because I lit me up in the book as well. I've known plenty of idea guys who talk in circles about what they'll do all day. I've worked with the I'll be ready when people who convince themselves that more time will fix everything. I've seen talented young people take their first steps only to pull their investments out too early, robbing themselves of the rewards that only arrive with patience and persistence.
Yeah. You got to stay there and you
Man,
got to keep doing it.
dude, like since starting this podcast, I've had at least five people ask me, how do I start a podcast? I want to do a podcast. What do you do? I'm like, brother, I don't know what I'm doing. I just bought a camera and started yapping.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally.
but, and none of them, I don't know if any of them have made it past 5 episodes. I know one of them that started like a second podcast. It's all it is like, you don't get the reward straight away, but you get willing to work through the shit to actually get to the point where the rewards come.
Yeah.
I had a friend mention that he started his own podcast recently, Harvey, who was in the growth game as well, and he was
Gotcha.
saying that his goal is like he wants to do a live episode at Fed Square for his ninth because most podcasts don't make it past 8 episodes.
Cool.
So like, how can you give up when you get to 5 and expect that you are meant to be the next Chris Williamson when most don't make it past 8? Like
Totally.
my biggest, like that Spotify Wraps thing was huge for me to see their growth because you feel like you're getting nowhere, but to actually get percentage on it's like 730% growth. I was like, I'm not getting anywhere. I was like, oh fuck. All right. Like,
You are. Yeah.
yeah.
You wouldn't have gotten anywhere if you didn't just start with whatever you had as well. You know, you
Mm.
just have to start. Everyone has to start. I had to start. You know, I look back at my first YouTube video, like uh, would be funny to look back on my old like kid ones, but like even my first one where it was me like redoing this room to like make it my workspace for doing video stuff. And like, I'm just so timid talking to the camera. It's hilarious. But like, if I didn't do that video, then I wouldn't have gotten to any point beyond it, let alone a point now where I'm confident talking to the camera, and I do it kind of for a living. Like you have to, everyone has to start at somewhere. It's classic. Everyone talks about this, but like it's really true. It's cliche for a reason that you have to, everyone starts somewhere and that you need to begin at some point. And
Yeah.
that's where probably the satisfaction you're looking for will come from as well. Those uncomfortable moments of just having to do it. Um, or you can stay in that kind of land of just talking about your ideas, and it's easier and safer and more comfortable, but it won't be worth it in the long run, I don't think.
Nah, you'll feel that inside you that I didn't do it. There'll still be that regret. I think people just need to reframe it. It's to like there with the carrot thing. It's like, well, what if it goes right? Like, what's
Yeah.
going to be in front of me if I do it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then choosing to just do it then. Because even you can even get caught just talking about that, being like, damn,
true.
that's so cool. Like epic. Great. Let's do it now. Um, yeah. It's one of the hardest parts, just showing up.
Fuck yeah. All right, let's move forward a bit. I want to talk about what you're looking to do now. Like you said, you want to move out of film and you're passionate about mentoring. And I love that you want to, you've built this knowledge, you've got all these skills, and now that you want to help other people with. You touch on that for us.
Yeah. Yeah. In the whole book writing journey, it's been like I've been changing my mind constantly about where I'm kind of ultimately trying to lead that to. I guess the overarching goal is like helping people create a life they don't need to escape from in the future. Um, and the biggest kind of thing I've found that people struggle with, which is fair enough, is if you feel really rejected by one thing, the normal system, you feel really rejected by it. It's not for you. You feel lost there. But then on the other side, you have no idea where you're going to go instead. You don't have any other way to make just a bit of money to explore the idea of travel. You don't know how you're going to, you hate this one side, but you don't know where you're going to go instead. Like that's a place where you feel incredibly lost. And a lot of people are there. And my kind of mission at the moment has been to create a lot of resources for people to get their first dollar or get their first little freelance business going so that money side isn't such a limiting factor. Um, I think that's, to be honest, that's what most people want, which is totally fair, and you need it. But I think what a lot of young people really need deep down is like the permission and the support to do something different. Yes, the money side's important if you're going to long term end up on a different track. But I think that deeper aspect is like knowing you're not the only one, feeling supported in going through something hard, having someone to tell who gets it that like, damn, this is what I'm trying to do. And having someone who understands that, especially if it's a path that isn't like anyone's, their friends or their family. So
Mm,
yeah, it's been changing a lot here and there, but I'm currently on the back end of the book. I've got this like 30-day challenge with people to try and build up the kind of freelance work, UGC or sales in 30 days to get their first dollar on their own, which has been a really cool challenge to like run with people. Yeah, and then I'm stepping into some one-on-one work at the moment, working with people over 8 weeks to build up their own kind of freelance like freedom skill where they can earn on their own and have a tool that they can use kind of as a plug and play when they need it. They can turn the tap on and earn independently. So that will continue to evolve for sure. But I guess my current like higher mission is just what can I create that helps young people or anyone like build a life that they don't need to escape from in the future.
mm,
So that's where I'm moving towards. Yeah.
epic. It's been a question that I've had, like through following you in it, like this conversation and seeing like your values and things you're passionate about. And then when you said building a life they don't have to escape from, it like brought the question back up. For me, a life that you don't have to escape from, what I think about is sobriety, because like alcohol is a form of escaping your reality, drugs are a form of do that at all.
So you cut out at the start. Was it just if I drank? Or if I,
Yeah,
yeah, um, yeah, here and there. After the breakup, I didn't drink for about 2 months. Um,
didn't.
I did, yeah, I was going. No, I didn't. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, I'm not letting anything get in the way of my growth right now. And yeah. So was that fueled in like the best sense? Uh, like it was alright. I really enjoyed that challenge. And now like Yeah, I have a drink every now and then, depending. I'm usually the guy that drives, though. Like my friends know that now. Um, yeah, I think with drinking for me, I've just found that I just wake up a lot worse the next day, and from a very just practical standpoint, when I've been working a lot and I'm trying to work on my own things that are really creative as well, um, it's a real negative trade off to feel bad the next day when I want to get a lot of stuff done. That's one side of it. And yeah, I've always had a bit of a weird relationship with drinking, I feel like, where um I drank a lot when I left high school, like and when I moved down south and was working at a winery and surfing and with all these like cool in hospitality. And then it just became a bit of an escape tool for sure. Um I'll be honest, like the last couple weeks, um, when I went to a concert and had a couple beers with a friend, and I had such an incredible night, and it made me think about. Yeah, I woke up feeling a bit slow the next day, 100%, but it just made me think about what is the thing there that like matters, and it was like I came into that night as a happy person with friends I really cared about, going to a concert, and we had a couple drinks, and that was like it was such a healthy place to go from, I guess. And I think that's what matters with me. It's like, if what's the purpose of this drink? And why? Like, why am I doing this? Like, do I feel like I need it right now? Or, yeah, so there's definitely, yeah, why? Why am I having that drink? I think it used
Mm.
to be very, very different. Um, and now it's just meant that I just don't really like often feel like a drink. Um, I just rather, and then if I drive, then I have the excuse anyway when it comes up as well, which makes that process a bit easier, I suppose, as well. Um, that was probably the hardest part when I had a couple months off was, um, yeah, not going to social things and just not drinking at all and feeling a bit awkward and just kind of getting used to that and understanding that no one thinks you're a
Mm.
weirdo because you're not drinking really. Um, So yeah, I think especially for young people in general, alcohol is a really interesting one. Um, I think it can be used in a healthier way than other ways you can use it.
Mm.
Um, net positive, I don't think so, but yeah,
Yeah, I think intention for sure. You're going out enjoying it with your friends. You're not going to get drunk for the sake of getting drunk. You're not escaping your relationship. Like that's why my brain just heard you assume you go like, yeah, is it a breakup? Like I started drinking. I was like, oh no, you said sorry about that's awesome. Because
yeah,
a lot of people go, I don't want to feel this. I'm going to mask it. I'm going to get away from it. But you can definitely deepen bonds with having a couple drinks because you're just more relaxed, having a good time. For me, it's a net negative, so I choose not to drink anymore
mm,
because like same thing. I try to be highly efficient and productive, and I can't do that if I've been drinking.
yeah,
And also knowing what I'm like when I do drink, it's all or nothing. So
sure,
uh, I can't afford to have a day off or 2 days off or anxiety. That's the other thing. My mental health's never been better since not drinking, and
mm,
I actually had like last week a couple of rough days just from due to being burnt out. I couldn't imagine how I would have felt if I'd been hungover as well. So,
yeah,
uh,
totally,
but that's also lack of spiritual health because I didn't feel aligned with my purpose because I've been giving too much energy to other things that didn't feel aligned. So, um, yeah, I don't know. That's popped in, so I thought I'd add that in. I think when you are assessing your mental health, you should think about like, what are you doing? How do you feel? What have you been eating? Are you in alignment? Because usually that's, um, dis-ease is it's just you're out of alignment, or physically, mentally, spiritually, something like that.
totally.
Yeah, sorry for taking it there, but that's
No,
just
no,
like,
no.
and I feel it's important to say because especially 17 to 21-year-olds, you're so out of touch with. I shouldn't say out of touch. You haven't like learnt to your body yet because everything is so easy. You don't feel pain as much. You're not sore for days after footy, and you don't attribute what your amount of sleep or food you've eaten. Like this is something that I've learned in the last couple of years. That now Thursday night dinner at footy, I'm not having gluten because I feel inflamed on a Saturday, and being growing and maturing and realizing I'm more in tune with my body. You know that like your actions, your choices do have what are they? Have consequences. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
So yeah, you've got plenty of things to look forward to as you age. Your body is not as resilient.
God.
But dude, it's so like we went to the pub last night to watch the cricket, and we got footy tonight, and everyone's it's definitely different up here. Like I was so shocked that people having beers, but I had like a beef vindaloo instead of like steak and chips because I couldn't have the chips, so I had like a tiny
Oh
little
yeah.
beef and rice dish while everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, well, that goes back to my thing before. It's like, how bad do I want it? It's like, I really want to play well. I know that having a certain meal will affect that, so I won't do that because I would
Yeah.
rather. What do you think? Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have too much more to be honest. I love that you spoke about saying fuck scripts
Mm.
uh, because I like this is the most I've prepared for a podcast apart from that 3 a.m. one that didn't eventuate.
Wow.
But it's still literally one-liners and then go from there because I feel like we're human and it's part of the human experience is to have conversation, not answering bullet point questions because that's not what a human interaction is. I want to have this as though we met on the street and I just want to learn about your life. So,
Totally.
um, yeah, what is living a less scripted life online and like basically being authentic mean for you and how has that benefited your business outcomes as well?
Yeah. Firstly, with the script side of things, there's a tricky duality with content where I now have a following where I feel like I can almost be a bit more privileged and be like, yeah, I don't use scripts anymore, or I don't worry about that stuff anymore. Where finding the balance between your authentic, like meaningful message you're trying to share and sharing your journey and being, really true. If you do that with no thought whatsoever about what's engaging or how you're going to have people see it, then the people that you want to see it and that would really benefit from your message that you have to bring to the world aren't going to be able to find what you said, which is really a tricky reality, I think, of social media, and finding that middle ground is quite hard. It's very easy to swing either way, and post something that's really, really, really authentic but it's just not no one's seeing it because it's not engaging the way you've presented your message, or you kind of start losing all the authenticity and you just go for something that's viral and polarizing, like a debate or sharing something that you know is going to piss people off.
Mm.
Um, and then sure, you get a lot more eyeballs for that, but you've lost your message. And that's, I think I've always really tried to focusing on like finding a nice balance. And I think because I have a videography background, I can do that kind of engaging stuff a bit easier, which I'm lucky with. So then just been trying to find a way to blend the two. But yeah, authenticity is man, it's so important, especially now where on social media, so much inauthentic content. That's the machine. It's so much quicker. Like
Mm.
that's how you can post 100 times a day if you wanted to with AI. Like that's not going to be very authentic. And but people are craving it now more than ever. Like you will stand out if you're the person who is willing to just be yourself and be vulnerable enough and courageous enough to share who you are to the world. You will stand out already. And then you can learn a couple hooks and how you frame it up and how you use your subtitles. You can learn that stuff later if if we're talking content. But the
Mm.
thing that's a lot harder to teach is like being a courageous, meaningful, authentic person online. If you already have that, then you're operating from you're in a powerful position to like share something great and meaningful. So I've always found that from my whole journey, like because I've had a real focus on just sharing what's going on and trying to be really authentic, that it's just been received really well. Like yes, it's scarier because you're putting a much truer version of yourself online. So if people do hate on it, it's a bit closer to home. You can't really remove yourself as much and be like, that's just my persona online. It's not really me. But I think that risk is worth taking to like actually help people truly, when people feel something when you're being real, it's hard to describe what that is, but there's something about it. Um, and when you do implement too many things with scripting and following a framework for how you make your content, or even like trying to post every single day when you don't really know what you're going to talk about. I think there's drawbacks there for sure. And if there's millions of posts going up every single day, and people on their phones for hours every single day consuming all this content, which is taking them on a ride, I just think you want to be the person that's showing up intentionally, you know, and trying to create something that you think will help people. And that's always been my focus, I guess, with posting. I haven't nailed that all the time for sure, you know, like I kept doing rejection therapy after 30 days because it was doing really well. And I burnt out once I had no goal anyway. But that was kind of why I wanted to keep going. And I realized, damn, this isn't becoming very aligned anymore. And yeah, it's a really tricky one to crack though. And but I think overall it's then you're building a business that, like everything, is like we were talking about before, is more aligned. You know, it's truer to you. You know that it's you and something you care about. Then you are making content, working on your business like in alignment with yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, love it. Great share. I want to leave with one question, but you are going to pick it. So if you pick a
Oh,
number between 1 and 365, I'll find this question and we'll shoot.
do you have 365 questions or no?
Yeah, I've been using this at like different community, like, you know, when I'm
Cool.
facilitating a community, and these are the coffee chats. I'll just have the phone up with the site, and
Yeah.
it's like, let's shoot, and we just go through, and that carries the conversation for like 2 hours because we're just
Yeah.
smoking questions. So,
Let's do 200.
all right. So while I get to 200, it might take 2 seconds. Uh, what are you building next? What are you excited to tell people about that you want to share that's coming up for you?
Hmm. Um, I mean, I have been just like building and refining this kind of coaching program that I'm rolling out, which has been really cool. Um, but that's mainly, yeah, people going through the kind of book and who, like, if they really resonate with the book and want to go further, then that's kind of who I'm talking to for that. So beyond that, um, I currently spend my days like at this desk just working on the people ordering the book, people who want to take the challenge, getting them into the challenge, and then hopping on calls with people who are interested in going further. And that's kind of all I'm doing. Actually, I really want to get back into making better long form content and YouTube. So I think if I had to encourage anyone to check something out, sure, go grab the book, but check out the YouTube, because I'm really hoping that can be a space where I really just continue to make cool, meaningful, relaxing online content where people can go to a place where someone's real and it doesn't spike their nervous system when they watch a video. Yeah, I'd love to really focus on that space next year. I think that's where I'll be more than Instagram, maybe. I hope. So yeah.
Epic. Love it. Dude, I gotta say, like, you spoke about how you have like your own unique setting outlook for the videos, and they're cinematic and they're unbelievable. Like, they're so
Thank
good to it's and like you said, calming. Like, you're on a beach, you have a really calm manner about you, or like, you know, wherever you are is like a nice setting. Like when you did the vlog about doing the podcast with Sam and you like wanted to go to a calm space like by the water, I was like, yeah, that is good. It's not a hypersensitive and lights flashing everywhere and filled with fake lights. It was just like a real nervous system relaxing spot. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
props.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Cool. So question 200. What do you think is worth waiting for? And
Oh.
so the prompt underneath, I guess, it says anything spectacular, true love, a fine meal, an amazing adventure, a first kiss.
You think it's worth waiting for? Things you deeply care about. I think more about like that made me think about what things aren't worth waiting for. And I think those things that you want to just fall into your lap, which you have to only get yourself. Which makes me think about the way that like action will create the clarity for you to go find the things that are meaningful to you. But I think it's worth waiting as long as you're still doing. If I'm waiting with my hands back, I don't think it's worth it. Or you won't find the thing. But
Mm.
but being patient on your journey to actively like searching for something you really care about, like it's worth sticking that out. it's worth waiting while you search almost, it's worth being patient. Because as one of the things that you read out before, like some things can feel really saturated at the start, like starting a podcast or starting a media agency, because everyone's really good at starting it. But man, if you just hang around, like you will be in a very small pool of people who are willing to stick it out for longer. So yeah, being willing to, I just wouldn't say like passively waiting and doing nothing, but being willing to just stay around for long enough that all those good things you're putting out now, which will probably give you returns later, can come back to you. You just don't take out that investment into yourself too early,
Yeah, I agree. You need to go like the layer deeper and say it's not just like sitting on your hands waiting for, and get adding a spiritual element. It's asking you shall receive, right? If you're putting energy out into the universe, you're putting it out there, asking for it. Then don't go, all right, sit in my hands, like come to me, and then because the opportunities will pass. But if you're not like actively ready, working towards it,
For
it's
sure.
whether that's oh, I really want to get a new job, but you haven't taken action to get the other job. You're still working the same job that you hate. Of course, you're not going to get a new job. Like it doesn't just fall into your lap. You have to be willing and ready to receive, whether it's quitting your job, whether it's applying for other ones, because you know God he works in mysterious ways. You might get fired for a reason, and you've been a soul can be the victim of that and not realize that you've actually been given space for a new job to come in. It's not going to happen. So I agree. It's not waiting for it passively. It's like creating space for it to come in. That
Yeah.
could be a partner too. Like, if you're unhappy in your relationship and I wish they were like this, I wish they were like that. It's like maybe you need to cut ties for that. That person could be there, but you don't have the space for them to come in.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't believe in dating apps, but I am single and I'm not actively like looking for anyone. So I'm not complaining that I haven't met the right person because I haven't taken any action to meet the right person.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, what are those things worth? Like those, like that thing of finding the thing you really care about, or being in a relationship that means everything to you. Like, yeah, what is that worth? Like, it is truly worth everything and more. Like, I feel like there's so much reason there to be willing to be patient and wait, but put the hands out and continue searching for the life you really care about, because that's everything. That's exactly what we have right here in this reality, and yeah, it's very much worth waiting for and worth searching for.
Mm, love it. Well, Sam, thank you so much. Where can people find you? Where can they find your book? And if they do want to work with you, whether it's mentoring or anything like that, how can they get in contact?
Yeah, head to you can go to some Sam Witness on everything. You can go to samwitness.com for like my links to my newsletter, book, and everything, or the thirdpathbook.com. You can go there too, and you can find me. You'll get to me. Yeah.
Epic. Well, thanks a lot, brother. I really appreciate your time.
Awesome chat, man. Appreciate it.